want to go and try low frame rate and click it over, you will lose your dark field corrections and you have to start again. Okay, I'll be repeating this again, Jack. I'll be saying it several times over and over. So you will lose your dark field corrections if you switch your frame rate. So decide whether or not you're going to use a high or a low frame rate. In most cases, Rock says you're best to stay at a low frame rate. Also, ROI, if you open and use that, open is okay, but as soon as you apply, you will lose. That stands for region of interest. It creates a blue box around the area of interest. You will lose your dark field corrections. So do not use ROI. I initially thought ROI would have cropped and zoomed in at the same time. It doesn't do that. All it does is it crops the area that you select. So don't use it. It's not even worth using. Just close it up. Okay, bit depth, leave it. You can't set it at 16 bits. It's standard at 8 bits default. Sampling, you can't bid in this sensor, so this doesn't take any effect. You can flip in horizontal, vertical directions, and if you want, you can go and do a grayscale, and that will switch and go back to color. Now you shouldn't lose your dark frames by doing that. I hope not. Okay, so, and how we can test it is go back to the dark and keep this down about there. Just have the enabled showing so you don't accidentally click on capture again, and take it off, and let's see if that shows up any pixels. Okay, we're only at 1 second. And enable. Okay, yeah, that took it off. So that seems like it's still working. Okay, I'll know once I do a little bit longer exposure. Actually, let's try that. Now, if I miss anybody's question, then just repeat it again, because I'm trying to concentrate on the software. Let's go up 5 seconds. Close that up. Thanks, Chris. I will add that info in. Okay, very good, Michael. You're welcome. Now, this is just the odd line frame that we're picking up. Alright. Maybe I did lose my darks by doing that. Let's see. This is all just learning tonight. Educational. Let's take this and disable it. Okay. No, we didn't, because the background's changing. Let's try it again. Now I might even have to take new darks, Jack, because I only had the gain at 1, unfortunately. Let's see, right here some warm pixels popping up. Yeah, quite a few. So it's working. So you don't lose your dark field correction when you convert from color to grayscale, which is great. Okay, again, keep it down low, get rid of the capture, hide it, put it there, because below is the parameters. I mean, parameters you can set. I don't bother right now. I just leave that closed, so you don't need to worry about the parameters. So again, just scroll down to that until that capture button is gone. Just leave it enabled. Okay, and close that up. All right. No, I didn't lose the dark fields. They're still working. But I have a feeling that I accidentally took it at 1 second. one gain. Might not be good enough, because I'm going to be using about 2 to 3 gain. Okay, so close this frame rate. We went through all this. Okay, now back to white balance. This is important, guys and gals. Now, when your gain is, I believe, 3 and over, the white balance is working on the star. Now we're at 2.5. Let's hit white balance. goes a funny yellow, and wait for a second, see if it corrects. Wait for the next refresh. Actually, I better drop it to 1 second. Let me go back to 1 second. We're on Altar, by the way. Okay. By the way, I'm using the 15-foot provided USB cable, the blue one. Hi, Tom. How are you? Okay, let's hit white balance again. It goes a funny green, but it will correct. That's fine. So we're okay there. And you can see we went to minus 19 on the red. 0, usually green stays at 0. Minus 59 on the blue. This is pretty strong on the blue. It's starting to go a wee bit funny though. You notice that? Let's go down to 2. Okay, there's gain at 2. Now watch when I hit the white balance. Goes funny green. And it corrects, but it's starting to maintain a greenish tinge to it. So that's why I'm saying you gotta watch this white balance. Once you start pulling your gain under 3, you might have to tweak it a bit. Now I can't really, it's got a greenish tinge. That has nothing to do with the filter. I tried it without the filter, same scenario. Now we're at 0. I can see if this went to minus 20 or something and I can move it back up, but the green is not moving. Maybe these are dropping too much. Okay, so let's try. I'm going to go all the way down to 1, but let's try 1.5. We're waiting for the skies to clear anyways. Hit the green, white balance. Now watch. Look how green that's going. And it's staying even more green. And finally down to 1. Hit the white balance. And it's green. And it is staying green. So let's go up to 2.75. That might be the minimum where the white balance is still perfect. It's the Irish style. Look at the charm. We got the wee green star. Alright, here we go. 2.75. White balance. Looks good so far. Perfect. That's about the minimum without any changes. So keep that in mind. If we go way up to 5, hit white balance, and it's still nice. Okay, so keep that in mind for you DSC users. So we'll go back to 3 and we'll stay at 3. Nice thing about this is there's no 3-minute wait. There we go, gain at 3. Okay, let's see who joined us. Hi Dwayne, how are you, sir? The 2 Toms are here, one in Nova Scotia, one in the southern Illinois. Hi, Toms. Oh, another Tom. Tom K4ATTA. Who else? Let's see. I'm just scrolling all the way down. Grum. Hi, Grum. Murray. Hello, Murray. Lots of guests and lurkers, so if you guys want to ask questions, don't be shy. Sign in. And tonight's the night for questions. Hello, Steve, and everybody else that I said previously hello to. Alright. So, let's see. Let's check our skies. Alright, we're starting to open up now. That's good. That's the moon right there. That's the bedroom light from the house in the back of us. So we got a nice night. So let's go for it. Let's see. Let's go to, what do you think, Jack? What object do you think we'll go to? Let's see. We can go to the ring. This is my first time, by the way, using, I took off my beloved 0.75 2-inch Apple reducer with the MFR5, the outer portion. I didn't like the stars and that. I don't know. I'm just trying the MFR8 with 2 10mm spacers now, and we'll see how that that does. So far it looks pretty good. It doesn't look like there's any vignetting, comb or anything. Yes, Rick, it is. USB 2.0. 15-footer. The one that came with the camera. Alright, so let's try for fun the ring. I'm going to go to an SAO star. This is my first broadcast with this camera. We've done, Jack and myself have done heavy-duty intensive tests with this camera to try to get the software going good. Finally, we got everything working. It wasn't an easy chore. It was probably one of the hardest cameras that I've worked with as far as software goes, but once it's good like it is now, it is actually a very easy camera to use. Now the buttons are reversed, so let me see. Okay, I'm just trying to remember which way is which. This should be up. I had the buttons down pat, but now that I switched the focal reducers and that, it's all changed. Okay, so the left is up and the down one is over to the right. So we'll go over to the left to touch. Alright, that's good enough. I'm not going to worry too much about this. Okay. Line. Good. Alright. Okay, let's go to the ring. And 57, be with the chat in a second. Jack is here to help me out. He can answer any questions if I miss anything. Merci beaucoup, Jack. That's true. We got to listen to the master, who is Mr. Mellon. Hi, Perry. How are you, sir? Alright, so we're at 1 second. I'm going to this is the problem that I was having. I'll be honest with y'all, I was playing too much with brightness, contrast, gamma up until last night. I almost was packing it in, and then all of a sudden I said goodnight to Jack, and then all of a sudden, because I didn't work today, I stayed up for a few more hours after, actually to about 3:34 in the morning. I hit default. I had this contrast way up to -100 to try and pull more contrast. The stars were lifeless. So I just hit default, everything went back to default, and boom, it just came alive, the picture. So I Skyped Jackie right away back and showed him, and this was good. This was a good thing. So what I suggest is we're going to leave brightness, contrast, and gamma at its default settings, and hue and saturation. So we're going to pretty well close this up for now. The only thing we're going to play with is the white balance. I'm going to hit white balance and then adjust either the red or blue. And the exposure and gain we can try. All these others we'll close. We'll just leave the histogram open. Okay, so I'm going to get the guider going. I did a whole new guider finally calibration after 9 months of using the same one. And whole new alignment too. So we'll see. Right now you can see my guide corrections here. Probably hard for you to see it, but we're under 1 pixel error, so it's doing well. And I will leave that there for now. Maybe I can slide it just partly out of the way so I can hit stop. Alright, that way I can see it. Once I click here it will disappear anyways. Alright, now we'll go to gain 3. We'll leave at 3. Let's increase. Let's go up to 10 seconds. Yes, a MallinCam Skylight would be good for PC, just so most of these are disabled. That would be a great idea, I think. I'm going to close that. Now everybody says about this box, the green, the red box and everything. Let me just pull that out of the way, stretch these boxes. What you should do, I recommend, is stretch the boxes, if you can grab it. There we go. Stretch the boxes fully, and then when you're done with this, you're not going to do any more exposure. Just close it up, and it will disappear. Same with the color balance. Just close it up. Once you open it, the nice thing is it tells you what you're on. When you see a red box, you know you have color balance open. So what I'm going to do, this filter for some reason, even with my extreme exterminator, shows M27 and 57 green. I don't know why. So we're going to hit white balance and wait for the exposure, and then we'll play with the either the red or blue. So let's see what happens. Okay, so it brought the blue to minus 45. There it goes. Okay, so it dropped the green, sorry, to minus 7 from 0, and it dropped this to 43. That's a hard one to balance. Let's see. I'm going to put that one down a bit, and I will lower the red a touch. Yes. Yep, that's right. Yeah, you can see here, it's not too bad. There's two ways of adjusting your color balance, and I will show you that. Jack and I were working on this last night. Now keep in mind, this dark field, I made a mistake today. I took 6 1-minute dark field corrections, but I made a mistake and I left the gain at 1 only. We're at 3. I should have had the gain at 3. And if I disable it, let's see what happens. Now we do get the dark specks, but they're very tiny. I prefer them over the colored confetti. And we'll see. I got it taken off. And you'll probably see around here them all light up. There they are. So you can see we got a green, blue, blue, red, red, red all over here. So we'll put it back on, close it up. Just wanted to show you with it off. Okay, I gotta work on this color. This is a tough object for me to color balance. Now, you know what I'll do? Let's see. Let me lower the green and take the blue down a touch. Let's see what happens there. Exactly, you're right. Nowhere near. NSN really cuts the quality down, for sure. Hi Bob, how are you? Okay. You know what? I'm going to bring up this too. I forgot about this. If I can find it. I think it's under the hat. Now if you do that, does that come on? Yep, okay, that's on. Okay, we got the clock up. There we go. Yep, the old clock. Okay, let me just see. This is a tough one to color balance. Let me just go back to default. I'm going to do it my other way and see. Okay, you can see under the histogram the blue is very dominant. Remember Rock was suggesting to drop the red? Well, I was explaining to Rock that most people a lot of times have a blue background. Now the color within the ring is quite nice. Yeah, we have a nice color within the ring. That's a lot better. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the histogram. I'm going to go to the blue channel, and I'm going to raise just the blue point. Now, it's like the same scenario as MiloSlick. You must stay with the blue there. If you go back to your RGB or any other channel, watch this, you'll lose it again. Watch it go bluer again. Let's give it a few seconds. Yeah, I do have a bit of vignetting. 210 millimeters is a little too much, but that's okay. I'm going to leave it there. It's not too bad. At least it's in all four corners. Rock was saying that I might be able to even add a 5, but no, 210s is more than enough. I think a 10 and a 5 would be perfect. Alright, so let's go back to the blue and raise that one to 21. Let's see what happens. Okay, let's clip it a bit, go into it, 25. Again, I don't have this too often with the white balance. Once I hit that white balance button, it's pretty well dead on. Right now it's 11:18, so it is pretty well at full darkness. Okay, talking about the clock. They are working, Rock did make suggestions for a countdown timer. So they're working on that. I did ask Jack, I asked Rock today about adding a sharpness feature to the software, but they can't, Rock told me, because it would have to be software and firmware changed. So when we're dealing with firmware, cameras would all have to go back, so unfortunately that can't be done. Okay, I'm just stretching this. Yep. Alright, so let's go a bit more to 30. $35. Okay, now one other thing too. This sensor is amazing for color. It's so rich in color. I would strongly suggest to drop your saturation. That's the only thing I don't want to leave at default. I'm going to put it down to 100. It will look better. Drop the saturation. Okay, so that just kicked in there. That's looking pretty good. How's that look on your side so far, as far as color balance? Okay, thanks, Tom. Me also, myself also, Jack. Alright, I think that's pretty good. Color balance. Let's give it a little bit more exposure. Let's take it to 15 seconds. No, I'm missing a lot with the chat. Let me read. Chris, did you see what Michael just posted? The option tab. Let me backtrack here. MallinCam Sky has its own clock. Oh, really? Is it a countdown to Jack? It's in the options video. Turn date on type. Okay. Alright, so where do we go? Right here? Preferences. Okay, where do I go here from, Michael? Let's see. Option video. Okay. Turn on date time. Okay, let me see. Oh, let's see. Yeah, should I use short date format? That looks the easiest. This one here? I'd go with a blue. Oh, okay. Cool. But this one's not a countdown timer. This is not synced with this. Correct? Yep, okay. That's good though, thank you. Yep, I'll kill the I'll kill that one, yep. Okay, there we go. And I think that position's pretty good right there. Alright, we're blowing this out a little bit. I have missed it, but is there a text option for labeling? Let's see. Preferences. Nothing there. No. Grids. This is just grids. This is your cross. No, I don't see anything. I don't see anything to any option for text. Alright, I think that's pretty good. I like to go to the dumbbell. Let's try the dumbbell and see. So we're going to stop the exposure. We weren't